Good evening, Scotty Sanders here. Thanks for joining me tonight. Been looking forward to sharing this particular talk for some time, so I'll get to that in a moment. And by the way, this will be episode 69. Let me give you one quick update. Again, this is a really busy time for my team with Quest of the Keys, which is our character education firm, where we try to encourage and empower students to unlock their potential, live with passion. And so if you're interested in getting Quest of the Keys resources in your school, you can go to questofthekeys.org. But as of today, we're in roughly 107 schools for this next school year. I believe that's in about 30 plus states. So we'll probably add another 10 or 15 schools before it's all said and done. So it's just been a great response. We love getting to empower students, working with teachers, educators, and principals. So in fact, I'm scheduled already to speak in a couple different schools coming up this fall, and we'll have a few others that I'll get into as well. So my talk tonight is my $100,000 speech and why always giving your best really matters. Now, just for the record, I do not demand $100,000 for my speeches. But if you're an event planner and you want to, if you're interested in bringing me in, go to scottysanders.com. And here's my commitment. I always do my best to make my talk, my speech, my keynote sound like a $100,000 speech. I give it my best. But it won't cost you $100,000. I'll leave it at that. It's something less than $100,000, all right? But I want to share with you a story about why I call it my $100,000 speech, okay? So this is going back a few years ago. I had been meeting with an organization. They were an educational firm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. They're about a $250 million-ish company, pretty large. And I was meeting with the CEO and the COO about doing some leadership development and coaching for their C-level leaders. And so it was so interesting. So I had the proposal. It was a 2-year proposal, and it was roughly $100,000. I think it may have been a little bit more than that. $100,000 for this proposal, and they asked me the strangest thing. They said, "Hey, we like your proposal, but listen, this is what we want you to do. Before we sign off on this proposal, in 2 weeks from today, we have a leadership event. We're bringing in all of our leaders of our organization, and we want you to be the keynote for that event. And we're going to give you about an hour and 15 minutes to speak to them." I had 2 weeks. And depending on how you do in your keynote will determine if we sign this contract. Now, nothing like a little pressure, right? So I prepared a lot in that next 2 weeks for that speech. But here's the bottom line. We really should always operate that way no matter what we do. So, what are those takeaways? What are some things that I learned that may can help you, and why giving your best always should matter? So here's my talk about my $100,000 speech. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Scotty Sanders. I'm an international leadership consultant, and my purpose in life is to encourage and to empower others to live, lead, and finish well. That's why I'm so excited about serving as the executive director of Quest of the Keys, because my purpose aligns with the vision of Quest of the Keys, which theirs is to basically do the same thing. So the main reason I do Facebook Lives, in case you're wondering, I love to get to pour into people, but I really want to help people to lead themselves well. And that's really the theme behind all of the Facebook Lives, is helping you to lead yourself well. Because I believe when you lead yourself well, it gives you the opportunity to lead others. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this material of this 100,000 speech and why giving your best always should matter. So here's my first takeaway related to that. You should be passionate about what you do. If you're giving a speech, or if you're leading a meeting, or you're over a project, you need to be passionate about what you do. All right, now I absolutely love what I get to do. That's not always been the case. So I'm deeply passionate about what I do, but even if I didn't love what I do, I still need to be passionate about what I do. And I believe that passion is contagious. People can pick up on that. And for me, unless I'm passionate about something, it will never be my best. It just won't. You know, I've had people say to me, they may not even agree with what I had to say, but they said, you're definitely passionate about what you talk about. So that's the first takeaway. To do your very best, to really make it matter, you need to be passionate about what you do. Here's the second. Prepare and then prepare some more. Now, this is one of those things, I'm definitely a preparer. You know, I feel like if people trust me enough to pay me to come in to do training or to do a keynote or do consulting or coaching, whatever it may be, lead a meeting, I want to be extremely prepared, okay? Not prepared to the place that it becomes, you know, in memory, but I want to know my subject. I want to get where it's in me and I can talk fluently about that. So again, a lot of you watching this, you may not get to do a lot of speaking, but in everything you do, you need to prepare and then prepare some more. I've been in meetings before where I thought to myself, this person hasn't prepared at all for the agenda for the meeting, and it didn't go well. People can pick up quickly your preparation. So that's important. Here's the third one. Your reputation is always on the line. You can say, well, this group, it doesn't matter. It's a small thing or whatever. People are evaluating you. Your reputation is on the line. And what I found, people have a pretty short memory about things. It doesn't matter what you wrote 10 years ago or a talk you did 5 years ago. What did you do today in this talk or on this book or this project or when you led that meeting? People have a really short memory. So just remember, every time you present, every time you lead out in some way, or you're the project manager of a project, your reputation's on the line. What happens on that project is how people remember you usually. Okay? Now that, you may not like that, but that's just a hard truth. You know, it's the last book, not the first book people pay attention to. So here's a fourth one. You never really know the impact you may have on someone. You know, there's times that I get to speak to students, and I love to get to do that. I'll probably speak to a few thousand students in multiple events this year. And a lot of times I'm signing their book and trying to encourage students. And I tell you, when I hear those students say to me how my book or my talk impacted their life, you know, that it helped them to look at things differently, shifted their mindset, made them see things in a different way. That is so meaningful to me. And so your words, what you do, can impact people's lives. And to remember that, you know, it's not just you, but it's the people that you influence, the people that you impact. I was doing a training a few months ago. And this is a fairly large company in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe $30 million, training a lot of their management level and up people. And during the break, the HR director came up to me and just said, I want you to know you have challenged me to live a better life and to lead in a better way. And that just meant so much to me. And so again, you just don't know the impact that you can have in people's lives. I think we underestimate that is so important, that we need to understand that when we do things, it's not just us, but the people around us, including your family. So those are my 4 takeaways why everything you do, you need to always make sure you give it your best. So I hope this has helped you. You know, this is my 69th. I can't even remember what I've got coming up next week, but next week I kind of a milestone, number 70 of my Facebook Live. So if this has helped you, I want to encourage you to hit the share button and pass it on to some others. That always encourages me. And if you are an event planner or you have events and you bring in keynote speakers, you can go to scottysanders.com and you can look at the different keynotes that I do and also workshops, and you can fill out a form and you can get some information on what it would take to bring me in for your event. It would be an honor for me to do that. I love getting to go into venues and encourage people and challenge them as well. Listen, I hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care until next time.